Okay, so this is part 2 of the video around the pattern that we can end up in of feeling like the ones we like don't like us and the ones that do like us we don't fancy. And it's how we can start to move away if this is something that resonates with you, and how we can start to shift the emphasis from this pattern to creating those healthy, happy relationships which you do deserve. Because I know that you can have passion and stability. I know that the relationship is out there that you like. You know, you might have to slightly readjust or reconfigure what you think love is going to look like or feel like. You know, you might have to work on those blocks before and work on a lot of your blind spots. But I truly, truly, truly believe that what you want is out there and you so deserve it. So let's get started. In the last video, we talked a lot around why we can get into these patterns. What are the things that kind of create this monster, create this belief, create this disappointment, or whatever it might be. And today we're going to be looking at, I'd say, 4 to 5 things you can start doing that will hopefully move you away from this. Number 1, as always, we're going to start with the building of awareness around this. So if this is something that you think comes up again and again, I want you to get curious about what happens when you are attracted to somebody. So let's say you're on that date and you've got that spark, you've got that pep in your step, you've got that feeling of, ooh, okay, what's going on? And it's not about trying to force yourself to go out with them or not force yourself to go out with them. I just want you to get really curious. So this could be the questions like looking at what's going on in your body, what's happening to your thoughts. Are you staying in the present or are you projecting? What emotions are bringing up? Are you feeling comfortable in yourself, or do you feel like you need to prove something or win something or be somebody more sparkly? You know, what do you then start to do in terms of behavior? Do you go into people pleasing? Do you actually, the walls come down and you start to shut off a bit? Get really, really curious about what's happening here. And I also want you to repeat the process of when you're sitting opposite somebody who is actually, you know, good looking, funny, seems to really like you, but there's not that attraction or not that spark. Ask yourself the same questions. Ask yourself if you're nitpicking, if you're looking for things that are wrong, if you're coming up with excuses about why it's not going to work. So that is really your starting point. And the more awareness you bring around it, the less it will become an automatic reaction. So we can create that space in between those moments to make different choices or allow different feelings and different thoughts to come in. That's why we're doing it. Number 2, we really want to be looking at doing the work on you figuring out your values, your needs, what is really important to you. Because the more you know who you are, the more you know what you value, then when you're clear on that, you will start naturally moving towards those elements. So for example, if actually one of your values is security and balance and I don't know, space and kindness, right? If those are the things that are fundamental to who you are, but actually you've been dating people who are the opposite of that, then the more you start to cultivate those qualities, the more they will become attractive in somebody else, basically, rather than running on that false value system, the adrenaline, the, you know, everything. Maybe I'll do a video on values. If that'd be helpful, please let me know in the comments. But this really is about getting to know yourself and moving towards what makes you feel good. So then it will become easier to see kind of, you know, what's there in somebody else. Number 3 leads on from this. Once you've kind of looked at actually what you need to feel happy and safe and fulfilled in a relationship, and also when you brought awareness to what you think you kind of need to be given by somebody else, you know, by doing the awareness work in step 1, you can start to cultivate those qualities and those feelings and give them to yourself. So for example, If you feel like actually you need that passion, you need that excitement, you need that buzz, you need to feel hot, you need to feel sexy, great, okay? It's not about dimming any of that at all. It's about you thinking, what can I do in everyday life to produce these feelings that isn't related to another person giving them to me, that isn't related to the push-pull of somebody buggering off, What can I do? Can I dress up? Can I wear nice underwear? Can I jump out of a plane? Can I do a HIIT workout? What can I do to create those feelings of excitement? And similarly, actually, if you figure out that what you need is that calm, is that security, is that consistency, but also that growth, that push, right? That learning, that adventure. What can you do to give that to yourself? Could you really double down on doing body work or somatic work, or introduce yoga, meditation to every day? Could you get used to spending a whole weekend on your own and giving yourself that space? Could you start to honor your emotions more if you need to feel listened to? What can you start to do to create that in everyday life? If you need attention, if you need to be celebrated, if you need to be seen, how can you give that to yourself? What can you praise yourself about? How can you treat yourself? What can you wear? All those little things on a daily basis. Number 4, this is really, really important when we're looking at the belief work that I mentioned in part 1, because as we know, whatever your experience, wherever this thought or this belief has formed, it is not a true one, okay? I know you think it's true because you have been going around collecting evidence to support that. So now what we want to do is actually find new evidence. You want to be on the lookout to build a new book of evidence, and I always suggest keeping a list in your phone or something like that. It's super quick to do. That is going to be evidence that support that there are people out there who are really attractive and who will like you and you will feel a connection with, and you can have everything. And this doesn't necessarily have to be you actively going on dates. This could be you smile at somebody in the street, or you have a really nice conversation with a stranger with no attachment to what is happening. Or it could be that you see a really lovely couple walking down the street who are laughing and they seem really in tune together. Note that down. Whatever it is that you come across, I want you to build a book of evidence that good things do happen for you, that you can have both, and that you are worthy and deserving of love, and that you are enough. Whatever your kind of limiting belief around this area is, create evidence to support something better. So that's a little CBT exercise for you. And then I think this is 5, isn't it? The final point, and this is really, really important, and it sounds quite trite, but it's not. It is one of the most important things. I need you to approach dating differently, and I need you to start looking for the positives in every situation, every interaction that you have, because we do have a negativity bias which keeps us safe, right? It keeps us where we are, it keeps us being eaten from the lions when we walk outside. But we need to break this habit and change the way our kind of neural pathways work, so we will start to look for the positive, and we will start to look for the things we find attractive about those people who are offering the things you need, but there might not be that push and pull there with. They might not be the loudest person in the room. They might not be, David Gandhi walking down the street that everybody turns to look at, but they are still incredibly attractive, funny, and your perfect person, or one of your perfect people. So let's actually start, when you're going into dates, rather than scanning, being like, okay, right, I don't like this, they said this, I don't think this is going to work. I want you to look for things you do like, look for things that are attractive, go on different kinds of dates so you can see people in different environments. I ask my clients to come up with sort of 5-10 things after each date that they liked or that they learned. So we start to see dating differently as well. And this isn't about forcing yourself to fancy somebody, absolutely not, or forcing yourself to go on different dates with people, absolutely not. It's about retraining your brain, what you look for. So I hope those 5 tips were helpful. Let me quickly summarize again for you. Get really aware, ask the questions, and to look at what happens when you meet people you like and you don't necessarily fancy. Number 2, I've lost my notes. Do the work on values, getting to know yourself, and actually figure out what it really is that you need in a relationship. Number 3 is when you figured out what you need, start cultivating those feelings that you're after by doing daily things for yourself. Number 4 is find evidence, create a new book of evidence that you can have both, that good things do happen, that you are lovable, whatever you need to work on. And number 5, I want you to approach dating differently. So I hope those 5 tips helped. This video is a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be, but as always, please rate, subscribe and review. I am running a group coaching program called Leading in Love on the 14th of February. The first people to sign up get an early bird discount of £100 off, and there is a 3-month payment plan available. This is a boot camp to help you create those happy, healthy relationships. Okay, so we are going to be doing a lot of work looking at what your patterns are, and I will also be giving you step-by-step guides on how to break them, because it will be a very small container, will be specific to you too. So as always, any questions, please let me know and comment below.